Out of all the things that will bring temporary confusion, among the most misunderstanding and mistrusting is going to be these monitoring spirits. These monitoring spirits are going to be sent to watch you because they're trying to get information about you. They're trying to see what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, etc. And you've got to remember how to play the game of life. Okay, you don't want to be a chess piece on this game. You want to be a chess player. All right, and if you're playing checkers out here, well then, good luck. Good luck with this. But you've got to learn how to move accordingly, and you've got to learn how to move with efficiency on this path, because these monitoring spirits might be sent from the shadow kingdom. I call it the shadow kingdom because that is where the devil's from. All right, the shadow kingdom, these are going to be people that are watching you to send back information to the devil, essentially. And I know that this may seem a little bit out there for some people, but it is the case that the spiritual domain of apprehension exists, and it's not something to take necessarily lightly or to be just discarded for no reason. Monitoring spirits will increase in quantity of watching you while you're on semen retention specifically. And for anybody that is watching this, I want to welcome you guys to another Semen Retention Sunday episode here on the Regal Change channel. But the reason that the devil will send these monitoring spirits is a very simple reason. It's to gather information so that he can understand how to attack you better. All right. And make no mistake that there are going to be kinds of neutral monitoring spirits as well, but people are going to be watching you a little bit more closely on semen retention because you have more energy to you. You have more of an aura. I made a video a few weeks back called "You're the Main Character on Semen Retention," and I mean that. You have to see yourself as the main character of your own life, because if you don't, it's going to be very challenging for you to really dictate how you ought to move in your life. But a lot of that comes from your relationship to God, and that's ultimately what this journey of semen retention is about, is growing closer to the Most High. And people will also be raving about the benefits of semen retention. And don't get me wrong, there are benefits, and the benefits are very real, but it's not necessarily a benefit. Okay, I don't define these benefits as benefits, because what that really is just you being aligned spiritually and being attuned to spirituality as you're supposed to be. So it may seem like a benefit at first because you're so used to being a depleted coomer that you don't know what it's like to actually live a fulfilled and full existence, where when you're walking around, you are like a loaded gun ready to go off. And it's not like you're wanting to shoot anybody necessarily, but you just have the capacity to do so. I don't know if anybody here has ever like had a weapon or anything like that apart from a gun, but if you're walking around with a sword, you know, if you're the only one in your community walking around with the sword per se, and you're going to feel a lot more at ease, right? You're not going to feel the need to use that sword, but you know that because you have it and other people don't, you're going to feel a lot more comfortable walking around, right? That's the same kind of feeling that you have spiritually when you're on semen retention. And you feel this because you just feel more at ease. It's very easy to stay in your frame, your masculine frame as a man, when you're on semen retention. And that's what these monitoring spirits are going to be watching you about. They want to know, what is he up to? What is he doing this? How is he doing that? And they're going to try to get information and then try to turn it back on you. Because what I've come to realize is, myself, my words have brought hope and healing. And this is not necessarily me saying this, is what people have said about my words. And you know what I've heard other people do? What their words bring and what their words are casting onto the society at large? Their words bring a cage. Okay, so if you're on semen retention, you're actually trying to heal, manifest hope and healing, right? And fulfillment of the spiritual endeavors of this life. Monitoring spirits are going to watch that because something's off about this. Think about the monitoring spirits, some of them as NPCs that are paying so close attention to you because you're just a walking glitch in the matrix, because you're not in the system anymore. You're not a part of that system. You're on you're on God's side. You're on God's system. And God's system surpasses all things of this world, all systems of this world. Okay, because that system is timeless. That system that God has, it's a timeless system that is systemless. Okay, that's the beauty of following the laws, statutes, and commandments of God, is that it's because it can seem strange, in order to follow God, I have to follow commandments, or in order to do this, I have to do that. That can seem kind of strange. There's a great quote from The Devil's Advocate. If anybody's never seen that movie, it's about this lawyer that ends up having going to a new law firm, and the law firm that he's at, the devil's actually the leader there, and he's Al Pacino. The devil is Al Pacino in this movie, and Keanu Reeves is the one that's trying to move to a better place in life, per se. Okay, a lot of things happen in this movie, but something that Al Pacino, the devil, says in this movie is that he said it's the biggest goof of all time, and he even says to Keanu Reeves at one point, he says, God is a sadist. Like, he's laughing his sick effing butt off while he's watching you struggle to survive. He says, look, but don't touch. Touch, but don't taste. Taste, but don't swallow. And the devil is making a pretty good point right here, right? And that's what's so terrifying about the devil. And he can bring out a good point in which it seems as though it looks in a certain way that it's actually not. Okay? And so the devil is trying to very much convince Keanu Reeves' character in the movie to turn to the dark side, per se, right? Well, these monitoring spirits are going to try to sway your perception of things, because let's get real. The perception of things for most people is what matters most. It's not actually what's real. Okay, and this is one of the reasons why Jesus was a carpenter. Okay, Jesus was a carpenter, and he was associated with the lowest of people. Okay, that's what a lot of the Bible teaches. And our God, he lowers himself to the lowest of people to associate them, to be associated with them for a reason. Okay, it's for a reason. It's because it's not about the looks necessary. It's not about the materials that you attain. It's about your heart. And a lot of people that are having religious spirits will say, oh, well, and these religious spirits can be monitoring spirits, by the way, as well. These people with religious spirits will say, oh, that's not true. No, that's not true. God wants us to be prosperous and everything. It's like, yeah, he does, but he doesn't need you to be. Okay, he doesn't need you to be prosperous and wealthy and all these things and luxurious. He doesn't need you to be those things in order to follow him. He wants to give that to you, sure, but he doesn't need that. And then that's where these religious spirits will get upset. And that's because they want to live life a certain way. They want to live life in a way that completely goes against whatever the Bible teaches, because they want to believe whatever man is teaching and not what God is teaching. And so this is why you've got to be very careful with the kinds of people that you're associating with. Even me, myself, I'm aware of the game. I'm aware of how to play the game. I'm truthful, but I'm vague when I'm dealing with a monitoring spirit. Whenever I think like, this might be a monitoring spirit. This might be a religious spirit. This might be somebody that is trying to put me in a cage, right? If their words are trying to put you in a cage, that's likely the part of a person that is trying to control you. But if their words are bringing hope and healing, but you're going to have to do certain things that are going to bring about discipline and honor and integrity to do so, it's going to be hard, but it's going to be for the betterment of yourself. That's a completely different story. Okay? That's the difference between somebody putting you in a cage with their words and somebody freeing you with their words. Somebody that frees you with their words tells you that there needs to be responsibility and discipline in what you're doing. Somebody that's trying to put you in a cage says, you have to do this way or else. And it's like, no. Like somebody's forcing their will on you in one instance, and in the other instance, somebody is guiding you to a path. Whether or not you want to take that path is your decision. Okay? So one of them is trying to force you, one of them is not. And this is exactly what the devil tries to do with Keanu Reeves, is he's trying to force him into something by trying to point out these juxtapositions of God. But that's not what that is at all, actually. It's not the case at all. So the point here that I really want to drive home, though, is to simply be aware of who you're communicating with the more you level up on semen retention. Because semen retention is a very powerful thing. Like, I've been doing this for almost 3 years now, and I still don't think that I have gotten everything that I could out of this journey. And I don't think I don't think I'll ever will. And that's the point, is that it's a continuous journey until the end, really. We have to endure till the end. And this doesn't mean that I'm planning to just, because I am technically planning to stay celibate for the rest of my life. I'm going to act as if I'm ready to be celibate for the rest of my life. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I don't want a family. That doesn't necessarily mean that I don't want to have a woman in my life that I can be intimate with. And so there are certain parameters that are in place, but I'm not going to turn away something that presents itself to be something that is going to be very powerful. And I know there are a lot of people out there that I've done consultations with recently that have a similar mindset. They've got a similar mindset. They're like, well, I'm trying to balance wanting this with the path. It's like, well, there's nothing wrong with wanting it. If God's putting it on your heart to want this, he wants that for a reason for you. But you also have to remember the discipline of the path, okay? And this is why on my channel, I talk about more than just female attraction for semen retention. Don't get me wrong. You'll get female attraction on semen retention. No freaking doubt about it. No doubt. In fact, it was probably the biggest shift that I had, is my interpretation of who women really were after semen retention and after really staying on this path. I had a whole shift in my mindset about how to treat women, how to talk to them, and how to just be around them. And it was very natural. And you're probably going to get this too if you've been on semen retention for, golly, even just 2 weeks. Even just 2 weeks, you'll probably notice a difference, because that's just how quick and how much the change can happen if you just notice how to stop being a depleted coomer. That's really the main thing there. So yes, you'll get female attraction, but that's not the goal. Sure, you're going to get more financial opportunities, but that's not the goal. These are going to be side effects of the disciplined practice, because the more that you get your inside right, the more the outside is going to naturally fall into place. Okay? All right? So with all that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful for you. This is definitely a topic that I think needs to be discussed, specifically around semen retention, because the monitoring spirits will watch you, no doubt. And the quantity of them will increase because of the amount of energy that you're bringing now to the table. Okay? But with all that being said, I hope again, this was useful and insightful for you. If you do want to join the Regal Change Academy, where we have an elite force of spiritual people all coming together, we have the free Discord channel, and we also have the paid community in the link in the description box below. In the paid community right now, we are going through the Legends of Stoicism class series. We also have other classes for you to attend. We have a weekly Maps of the Psyche class. We also have a weekly Regal Assembly call where we talk about a variety of different topics and subjects. We have a weekly Bible study, and these are all part of those calls are all part of the full membership there. And we also have other classes for you to do, be interested in on your own time that you can do. We have the Semen Retention Mastermind class. We also have a Nexus Attraction class, as well as a Godlike Savage class, entrepreneurship, etc. We've got something for everybody in there. And that's only $20 a month, okay? And the reason for that is because it's a month-to-month thing where you can get whatever you want and need out of it each month. And that's the goal. We don't want necessarily people to just hand over their life's work over, okay? Some of these courses and classes people will charge thousands of dollars for. It's really crazy to think about. And I've definitely had people that are paying hundreds of dollars for my one-on-one consultations before, even though that's not what I charge. But that's exactly the kind of value that they have. What I've also noticed is people with resources aren't necessarily afraid to have an investment on themselves. People that don't know how to invest in themselves are often the ones that are broke in their mindsets, okay? So that's just something to think about. So we're gonna fix, like the goal here is to fix mindsets, to create new thought algorithms, and to really create an abundance mentality. And we welcome men and women in there. In the free Discord channel, you'll get a free ebook as well as a meditation guide, fitness guide, etc. I do appreciate everybody moving from the YouTube platform over to X, Rumble, and Instagram recently, especially X, because that's gonna be the place in a couple years. I genuinely believe that for social media. And I appreciate all the subscribers, the followers, and the members here on this channel. Peace be with you all. Until next time.